If you like this video, please click on the like button. Comment with the names of the movies you would like us to cover next. Click the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get notified of our latest creations. We cover 100 movies from around the world every day. To advertise with our channel, reach out to us. Our contact information is on our channel page. Now, let's move to the plot of this movie.
John Kramer is told that, due to his advanced brain cancer, he has only months to live. After a court scan, he witnesses a custodian stealing from a patient in the next room, and imagines him in a trap where he must turn a dial to break all 5 fingers, or have both eyes sucked out of his head by vacuum tubes, with the custodian failing to do so in time. After the custodian sees John at the window of the patient's room, he places the belongings he originally intended to take back with the patient. After this, John attends a cancer support meeting, where he meets Henry Kessler, who claims to have also gotten a terminal diagnosis. A physically destitute John later encounters a seemingly healthy Henry, who claims to have been cured by an experimental Norwegian cancer treatment conducted by a group led by Dr. Peterson. A desperate John contacts the doctor's daughter, Cecilia Peterson, who refers him to her clinic in Mexico City. John is driven to the clinic by taxi driver Diego, and meets Cecilia and her team, Mateo, Valentina, and Dr. Cortez, as well as a young woman named Gabriela who claims to have been cured by Cecilia, and another patient, Parker Sears, who just underwent surgery. John also meets Carlos, a young boy who lives nearby, and the two bond when John fixes his bike. John goes under for surgery, and he wakes up to Cecilia informing him that he is now cancer-free. Finding a new lease on life, John purchases a gift for Gabriela. However, upon returning to the clinic, he finds it abandoned and realizes that the whole operation was a scam. Deducing Dr. Cortez was Diego in disguise, John kidnaps and interrogates him. He then places Diego in a trap where he must remove explosives wired to his arms by cutting through his flesh, which Diego successfully performs. Jigsaw's apprentice Amanda Young then kidnaps Cecilia and her team. The four wake up in the clinic, where John and Amanda greet them as the subjects of Jigsaw's latest game. Valentina is tasked with severing her leg with a giggly saw and extracting enough bone marrow to release a key and free herself. Although she succeeds in removing her leg, her time runs out and she is decapitated. Cecilia is able to call for help, but Amanda shocks her into submission and confiscates the phone. Parker breaks into the clinic, claiming he wants his money back. Amanda restrains Parker while Mateo is forced to drill into his own skull and remove a portion of his cerebral tissue to obtain another key. After taking too long, a heated mask closes on his face and melts it, killing him. Gabriela is next and is suspended from shackles around her wrist and ankle while being subjected to ionizing radiation and must use a sledgehammer to break her shackled limbs and escape. She succeeds and John orders Amanda to take her to a hospital. However, before she can, the now free Parker forces them at gunpoint to free Cecilia. Cecilia breaks Gabriela's neck and reveals she called Parker, who is part of the scam. To free her, she forces John to chain himself in her trap. She hears Carlos outside of the facility, and having noticed John befriend the boy, chains him up opposite John on a seesaw-like trap which waterboards them with blood. Parker and Cecilia leave to retrieve the bag of stolen cash from John's control room. However, a tripwire is activated that seals Parker and Cecilia in the room and frees John and Carlos. John reveals Diego gave up Parker as one of the scammers, and he tricked Cecilia into luring him to the facility. A deadly chemical gas begins filling the room, with the only respite being a ventilation hole large enough for one person's head. Cecilia stabs Parker to death but can only watch as John, Amanda, and Carlos, to whom John gave the money, leave the facility while she is left imprisoned. Some time later, Henry awakens in a dilapidated bathroom with a new trap strapped to his stomach. Overseen by John and Mark Hoffman.